Hello and welcome to the Spooky Chris podcast. I am the aforementioned Spooky Chris. My name is Chris Ringler. I am an author, podcaster, obviously, couple-time filmmaker, event coordinator, and all-around oddball. And this is my micro podcast. I try not to go too long because heaven knows you don't need to hear me that long, and I don't want to bore you. It's been a minute since I've recorded one of these. It's been a whole darn kid. Just an update. My wife and I welcomed our daughter, Lilith Maeve, into the world early November. So it's been hard to take a minute to do one of these. But while she's sleeping, I'm taking a moment to record one quickly. Watched a movie recently called Rent-A-Pal, and it's interesting because it kind of reminded me of a different era in my life. Rent-A-Pal is I'd call it a dark thriller, released in 2020, and is about a lonely man who lives with his mother who has dementia, who is, an ever-worsening dementia. And because of his life situation, he has to basically take care of her full-time. So he's doing that, and that would be extraordinarily lonely. So the film is set in the 80s, so he is trying to meet someone just to kind of have someone else in his life other than his mother. And he is going through, and it's weird, and again, a lot of folks won't remember that these were a thing, and I vaguely do. I'm old enough that I vaguely remember this was at least, in the pop culture of the time, a thing. But dating, back then, kind of the remote dating, as it were, was such a different animal, where, there were services, you would subscribe kind of to a service. And in this film, the service is a video service. You go in, you pay a fee, you go in and record a very short, hi, this is me, this is what I like, this is who I am, this is what I'm looking for. And then people can see, kind of look at what you're about and kind of decide if they want to essentially purchase that video to see if you're someone that they would want to get to know. And it's just so strange to imagine that was how dating worked at one point. And I get why it would have happened, because, you look at busy professionals and stuff, and that was the yuppie era, so it was, our country, the United States has this thing about, how noble it is to basically sacrifice everything for a career and for a job, and that's all well and good if there's an end goal for yourself, but if you're doing this for the company, which is always kind of what it comes down to, it's the company can fire you at will. So why are you doing everything for them and taking away from yourself? But so there was kind of a need for that, and the man, in trying to meet someone, comes across a videotape for something called Rent-A-Pal. Which is kind of like a video friend. And the way that video is set up is it is a man, and he's like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so. Who are you?" And he would pause, wait for your answers. So you can interact with him, and man alive, if there's anything that just compounds loneliness, it'd be that. That you have, that would be any kind of approach a friend, I guess would be the best term. And again, though, that was that era. I remember, there was a lot of VHS. They were trying to find ways to make them more interactive and to really take advantage of how much they blew up and saturated the market. And I remember I had a video game thing that was the space whoozy what's it, and it came with a little laser gun, and you'd put the VHS tape in. It was Captain So and So, and then you'd play that. And so it was part of an era of trying to make this type of communication more interactive. And it's a good movie. I'm not sure I loved it. I liked it quite a bit. It's really dark, but it really reminded me that the reason. I mean, it was a hard watch because my own mother had started to develop early dementia towards the end there, and I mean, we never went through the bad stuff like a lot of folks do. So we were very, very lucky, very, very lucky, and but even the little bit that we saw, it was hard. It was for sure hard. And I can't imagine, someone having to go through that whole process. But what it really reminded me of is my time trying to meet people as an adult. So, I never dated as a kid, and I was never really good at talking to people, and I never really went anywhere. So in my early 20s, early mid-20s, and for a while after that, I did internet dating. And it's so weird. It's weird because dating really is one of those things that you can look at eras and how dating happened. Like my parents met through friends and through family, and they, people would set you up back then and that kind of thing. Like it was more arranged. I mean, not in the strict sense, but in more of a, I know this guy, I know this girl, you should meet them. People pairing you up, and then it was a matter of meeting at clubs, and then these video things, and then online, and speed dating. Now you have apps where you can download an app and just kind of look at somebody and go, nope, and you're just looking at them. And there may be this or that or, whatever. I can't say I have looked at dating stuff in many, many years. Since I've been married for a hot darn minute. But yeah, so, you can just very quickly, it's meant to, expedite it because people are busy and don't have time and they don't want, they're trying to hurry everything up. And it's weird because dating is one of those things, like, something like, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the darn name of it, the Tinder. Tinder was kind of a hookup app, so you were just like trying to find people to kind of hook up with, and it became more of a dating app. But like you'd think, if you're really looking either way, if you're looking just to get laid, you'd really think that I really want to make sure that they're ABCD, that they're not crazy, that they don't have anything, they're not married, engaged, have somebody that's going to come after me, there's things you'd want to find out. To kind of cover your bases. And I get the whole idea of the hookup is just like, I am horny, I want to get laid, I'm going to swipe and find this person, and they're nearby. But you would especially think that you'd want to be less casual if it's dating. And I guess, you get to it, as you get to know them. But man alive, I know so many people, just amazing people who can't meet anyone. And now, as a society, we put too much emphasis on pairing off and how, we have to, and oh man, life is only valuable if you're with someone and you share your life, and then you have to share it with a kid, and so, there's all these rules that are arbitrary that we put on people. Like you can be happy and single. There's nothing wrong with you. If you don't want to be with somebody romantically, physically, whatever. You're cool. You don't have to be. The nonsense of pairing off is just crazy. Just if you don't have a kid, man, you're just you're really cheating the world and cheating yourself. No, man. If you don't want one and your heart never changes, and that, don't force it because you don't want to resent or hate that kid. And in the same way, don't force it. If you're not feeling it with somebody or anybody, you do you. There's so much stuff in this world to do and to experience. You don't need to experience through someone else. If you do, awesome. But if you don't, it doesn't make you lesser. And it's weird that we don't normalize that more. It's sad. I think half the heartache of being alone for the holidays and for all that stuff is that you have so much pressure from everything around you is like romance. Oh man, gosh, and it's not like we don't let people just be them. We don't let people just be themselves, and whatever happens. But I remember doing the dating thing, and I met lots of friends, lots of people, and I dated a few girls off of those things. Like I did Hot or Not, which is funny to imagine that it had a dating aspect. It was a website where you would go, you'd put your picture up, and people would just go through, and I imagine it's Tinder-esque. You'd basically look at them and say, like, hot, not. And I never gave half a crap about that. And yet, no one wants to feel unattractive, but I wasn't worried if people I don't know thought it was hot or not. But there was an aspect, like I say, to date. Now, the cool thing is when I did all that stuff, because I did that, I did Yahoo, I did... Shoot, what was another one? There must have been another one. But it was all free still. It wasn't, I didn't ever dip into the pay sites, but those also really were just starting to get going. Yahoo had a tab. You could set up dating profiles and stuff. And I can't think what the other one was for the life of me. But it's weird, this the way we do things, because, again, I know so many great people, and they're great people. And it's weird, the Tinderization of kind of things where you look at someone like, nope, they're not hot. And it's like, I get it, we all want to be attracted to whomever we're doing whatever with. But it's weird because it negates anything else. We mark everything to a checklist. Are they this? Are they that? Are they this? That? Which we don't realize, humans don't work that way. You're not going to find someone I'm into fishing, and they have to be into, going to church, and they have to want 8 kids, and they have to want this, and they have to want this, and it's you're never going to find a one-to-one. You're just not. And even if you do find someone that is a one-to-one, exactly like that, that doesn't mean then you have to find the chemistry between you. Do you guys match up chemistry-wise? That you want to kind of be involved with them, they want to be involved with you. All of that matters. All of that means something. And without chemistry, the rest doesn't happen. So it's weird that we negate so much of who we are, and that we had a friend. We had a friend who had all of these strict things in his mind of what he wanted in a partner. Oh, well, they can't do this. They can't do, one of the things, I don't want someone that smokes. I don't want someone that parties. I don't want someone, they ended up being a pothead, hardcore, that was smoking at one point. So we have these, weird little rules, and I mean, again, everybody has them. You have certain things, lines you will and won't cross, and it makes sense. But we have such arbitrary ones where, even with friendships, and it keeps so many people away. And I mean, gosh knows I'm not above it. I guarantee there are people that I never met, never gave a chance to because they didn't line up to whatever I thought I was looking for. It's how people work. And it's just weird. It's weird that, these important things we forget in our friendships. And it's different right at this moment because, man alive, if you don't have some... I think a lot of us have lost some friends to some of the insanity in our country here in the U.S. But, our friends don't love everything that we love, and we don't love everything they love. So why would our significant other And it's hard. It's hard, just like it's hard opening your heart up to someone, and then your life, and then, it's like you're inviting a stranger into your house and hoping they don't rob you blind or crap on the floor. And, and the damage someone can do to you emotionally can last forever. And again, we all have those scars. If you've ever been in relationships, you have those scars. And we've probably scarred other people, not necessarily intentionally, but because sometimes somebody falls for you that you don't reciprocate, or does or says something hurtful, and that they may not have truly meant to be as hurtful as it was, but it is what it is. And gosh, it's all enough to make you not want to date. I mean, it certainly doesn't get easier as you get older. I pity the folks that are older trying to get in the dating game. And gosh, if you have a kid or something, just because all of that makes it harder to find somebody. Because, again, we all have these, oh, well, I want this and I want that, and I don't want someone with a kid, or, oh, gosh, they can't, it's strange. And that movie kind of really, Rent-A-Pal really reminded me of that and how hard that stuff is. I remember I went on a date once with this young woman, and it was funny because it was such a bad date. I literally kind of said, wow, this is the worst day I've ever been on. And it was the meanest thing I could have said. It was absolutely so mean. But it literally was, where I was hey, where would you like to go? I don't care. Went to a place. Oh, so she didn't like it. Didn't like where we sat. I was asking her questions to get to know her. She didn't like that I was asking her questions. She didn't like the music they were playing. They were playing classic rock. And it was just the funniest, weirdest thing. She was just bent out of shape over everything. So it was just kind of wow, this is clearly kind of a waste of everybody's time. And it was just, again, I feel I shouldn't have been that rude. I should have been, but it was just funny because it was like that. And again, that was, I happily never really had many dates like that. Oh, no, I never had one like that, actually, but, I never really, I lucked out in how I dated and who I dated. I never really went through that again. But, I mean, it's hard. It's like looking for a job. I looked for a job for a freaking year, and I can't imagine how hard it is if you can't meet someone and you want to. Because, again, there's nothing wrong with wanting to meet someone. But I pity the folks that, are kind of out there, putting themselves out there, and then you meet somebody. Gosh, I had a couple times, I was hanging out with this young woman, and we were having a good time, and really seemed to hit it off, and then she stopped talking to me. And that stuff happens. And, I mean, it happens now. It's more online, though. But it stinks because you get kind of wrapped up and kind of caught up in the moment of, the kind of 60-second crush of it all. And it stinks to have somebody reject you and just to kind of disappear. Now, I don't obviously think I would have ever liked what her answer would have been, oh, well, I met someone else. I think you smell. I think whatever. So I'm probably better off not knowing, but it doesn't make it hurt retrospectively any less. It stunk. And so I can't imagine putting it out there for folks as much as they do, and going on several dates and then having them just ghosting you, or yeah, this isn't going to work, or gosh, I like you as a friend. It's hard. Dating's rough, and this Rent-A-Pal, even though it's set kind of in kind of a retro era, it connects to that. It connects to that part of the isolation of and loneliness of dating and trying to date, and trying to do it in even a sort of modern world. How people are meeting anyone in the COVID era, I have no idea. It helps that you can video date and stuff, but again, so much of chemistry is in person because it's how somebody deals with things. You could video chat with someone all day long. But until you see how they react to things, are they going to keep their cool if something wrong happens on the date? If they don't get the right food they ordered or whatever, the movie's sold out. Are they going to act a fool? You can play act a lot to get what you want, and unfortunately a lot of people do. So it's interesting, and like I say, I pity folks that have been going through all of that and trying to find someone, because there's so many games with dating and so much gamesmanship, and it stinks, because you're so you want to. We gamify it like you want to be the winner. You want to be the one everybody wants. You want to get what you want. And it's all so crazy. And, I lucked out. Like I say, I was lucky with the apps and stuff. I met a lot of folks. I dated a few chicks. So I got lucky. Like, I had some weird stuff. I think I relayed one of the stories on here a while back. Like, one of the weird times I had where I met a young woman who wasn't necessarily single and was not what she portrayed herself to be. And again, that happens all the time, unfortunately, on dating, because, which is weird. It's weird to me when people do that. Like, you're going to, unless you're just trying to, get naked pictures of a lady. I don't know why you do that. Like, oh, well, they'll fall in love with me, and then I'll reveal that I'm not at all what they started to fall for. And God knows everybody wants to date somebody that has lied to them from the outset. Like, it's just, I don't know. People are crazy. I just don't know how folks can do it anymore. It's strange. But yeah, so I don't know. Like, if you're out there mixing it up, I feel for you. It's hard because you want to be your genuine self and hopes that someone kind of sees that and connects with it, that you, whoever you are, or however you are, they see you as you are and go, wow, you're it. But even still, like, you can connect on so many levels and it still can't work, might not work out. And that's the worst part of it at all. Of all is that, like, everything can line up and the stars don't, for whatever reason. And you can wish and hope all you want, but sometimes that's just the way it is. So if you're out there, I feel for you. Especially getting towards Valentine's Day, like this loaded pseudo holiday we have. And again, love should be celebrated. Romance should be celebrated. It's great. It's just a shame that we make it such a you better have a date or else kind of a thing in our society. But yeah, and I've been. Rent-A-Pal is just one of the many, many movies I've watched. I've watched so many movies. Gosh, it's crazy. And I suppose I'll try to do a rundown of them at some point. But it's been a lot. It was funny. I saw a movie called Cold Skin that is very similar to The Lighthouse, and I liked this a lot more because it actually had monsters. Like, I liked this much better than listening to two crazy guys fart at each other. But that's me, because hey, what do I know? Oh well. Friend, I hope you are well. I hope you are safe. I hope you are happy as we zoom into February in 2021, a year after COVID got going, and just hoping for a light at the end of this tunnel. Hang in there, friend, and we'll get through this together. If you want more of my podcast, or want to read my blogs, or check out some of my books, or even merch, go to SpookyChris.com, or just look up Chris Ringler and Spooky Chris, and you'll find me. I'm even on Amazon. Take care, friend.